All right, guys, welcome back to our next segment where we're talking about the NHL PR and how they announced that this is the most watched playoffs so far. The 2024 NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, this is the tweet that they put out this morning. The ESPN total viewers announced 1.575 million over the first two rounds. This is a 15% increase from any other playoffs in history. This is the second round alone. 1.57 million viewers through two rounds. The Stanley Cup playoffs on ESPN are averaging 1.23 million total viewers, up 15% and 9% versus the comparable point in 2023. So yeah, a lot of people are watching hockey and a lot of people are watching this Stanley Cup playoffs. I wanted to bring that up because I think it opens up an even bigger conversation on the state of hockey right now. And what kind of are the factors that goes into this, goes into having such a loyal group of watchers and followers of the NHL right now? I think it is amazing. I think hockey is in such a great spot, and this is why. First off, let's look at the teams that are currently in it, who we are watching, and why people are getting behind. I'm going to go through the entire 16 seed poll, and I can name you reasons on why you're watching every team. All right. First off, Dallas Stars. We're going to just go from Western Conference, Eastern Conference, each team here. Dallas Stars. Why do you watch this team? They have such fun young core. Roope Hintz, Logan Stankoven, Wyatt Johnson. These guys are 21 and younger, play amazing hockey. And then you have guys looking for their first cup in Joe Pavelski, in Ryan Sutter, the names that we talked about earlier. These guys looking for their first cup. Matt Duchene, of course, in that ring too. And then on top of all of that, you have Miro Heiskanen, a very young defenseman who's amazing. On top of all of that, you have Jake Ottinger, who's an amazing goaltender, very fun to watch, very entertaining. That team is so entertaining. All right, who they play in the first round? They played the Vegas Golden Knights. Tell me that's not a fun team to watch. The defending Stanley Cup champion. They have a very talented forward group. Of course, they won the Stanley Cup last year. They add even more in the during the trade deadline. Add Noah Hannafin, and then you get Mark Stone back for the playoffs. If you're Vegas, they have fun young goaltenders in Adin Hill and Logan Thompson. You have Alexander Pietrangelo, very great defenseman. That team is a very fun team to watch. And why do you watch them? Because they're the defending Stanley Cup champion, and you're going to want to see. Also, Vegas has a very big market. T-Mobile Arena is always sold out whenever they're playing at home. It is a very, very fun team to watch. So that's why you're going to watch that team. All right, moving down. Then you have the Colorado Avalanche versus the Winnipeg Jets. Colorado Avalanche. Why do you watch that team? Nathan McKinnon. Why do you watch that team? Mikko Rantanen. Why do you watch that team? Cale Makar. These are three superstars of the NHL you're going to want to watch day in and day out. Those are all very fun names, especially Cale Makar. 23-year-old defenseman, can do it all, the best defenseman in the NHL right now, in my opinion. He is absolutely amazing, and he fills that team's needs perfectly, and he makes that team so much fun to watch. You also have Alexander Georgiev, who's a great goaltender, very, very fun to watch. So why do you watch that team? You want to see if that core can win another one. On top of all that, they have Artturi Lehkonen, who was very entertaining. Of course, Valery Nichushkin might be the reason they're not in the playoffs anymore because of his suspension. But that was still a fun team to watch when he was playing, especially on that power play. That team was amazing. Winnipeg Jets, why do you watch that team? Connor Hellebuck. He is a top 5 goaltender in the league, and he has not won a Stanley Cup. Why do you watch Winnipeg? Because they are this small market team who had their team torn away from them. And they are trying to revitalize that organization, the former Atlanta Thrashers. Their team was taken away from them, moved to Arizona of all places, and then they got a team back, and that's why you root for that, because they're a very underdog story. That is always a team that I love watching. And it's still a very fun team. You have Cole Perfetti, who's a very fun player to watch. You have I'm blanking on a lot of guys on the Winnipeg Jets, but they were a fantastic team in the regular season, one of the best in the regular season. So, of course, they got disposed of in the first round. That's why not a lot of names are coming to my mind right now, because they haven't played hockey in a little while. But that was still a very fun team to watch, and Connor Hellebuck is an amazing goaltender. So you want to watch them to see if he could get something. Moving down to the Pacific side of that Western Conference, the number one seed was the number one seed in the Pacific side. It wasn't the Oilers. Who did the Oilers just play? Why am I blanking? The Vancouver Canucks. I'm so completely blanked on the second round matchup there. But the Vancouver Canucks. Why is that team fun to watch? Well, tell me why that team isn't fun to watch. Quinn Hughes, young defenseman, who's extremely great. Brock Besser, JT Miller, Elias Lindholm, Elias Pettersson. Carson Soucy was great during that series. You had Thatcher Demko, and then when Thatcher Demko unfortunately went down with his injury, you have this rookie goaltender who hasn't played a lick of NHL hockey. Artur Shilov steps right in and plays amazing. That Vancouver Canucks team was so much fun to watch. It is unfortunate that they had to run into Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers, and their run ended there, but that was such a fun team to watch. Moving on to who they played in the first round, they played the Nashville Predators in the first round. That team, Roman Josi, Nashville Predators. Need I say more? That guy has carried this team to the playoffs how many years in a row now? Roman Josi, Philip Forsberg, UC Saros. That core has been the same for many years, and it's so much fun to watch them. They had Ryan McDonough this last year too. It was so much fun to watch them play hockey throughout the regular season. So that's another fun team, and they took the Vancouver Canucks to 6, and that was a close series in the first round. So on the other side, you have do I even need to talk about why the Edmonton Oilers are fun to watch? It's the Edmonton Oilers. It's Connor McDavid. It's Leon Draisaitl. The only 45% on the power play through the first two rounds, or through most of the first two rounds. They went 0 for 7 in the last two games to bring that stat. I believe it's now at 37%, but still, fantastic power play. That just speaks to their superstars: Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Zach Hyman, Evan Bouchard. That's the power play one. And then you have Evander Kane. You have who's on the other side of Leon Draisaitl? I'm blanking right now. Who's on that other side? You also have Darnell Nurse. And then you're watching these high scoring games with the Edmonton Oilers, and that's why that team is so much fun to watch. I can't wait to watch the Western Conference Finals, see how the Dallas Stars mitigate those two superstars, because nobody is able to. And then on the other side of that series, it was the LA Kings. The LA Kings, Anze Kopitar, Drew Doughty, and then you have young names like Quentin Byfield. You have young names like they had Pierre-Luc Dubois on that team. That team is really good. They just ran into the Edmonton Oilers. It was unfortunate for them. But that team was still very young and very fun to watch while they were playing in the playoffs. This is their third year in a row losing out to the Edmonton Oilers. So it's unfortunate for them. And then on the Eastern Conference side of things, you have, going down the list, number one overall seed was the New York Rangers. How is that team not fun to watch? Mika Zibanejad, Artemi Panarin, Igor Shesterkin, Adam Fox, Vincent Trocheck. What else with that team? As that does remind me, it's still 1-0 in the game between the Panthers and the Rangers. Here, the third period still has not gone underway in that one. But anyways, who they matched up with in the first round. It was the Washington Capitals, Ovi's last cup. Need I say more? I definitely don't. And then you have the Rangers. You have the Hurricanes versus the Islanders. The Hurricanes, what a fun team that is. Sebastian Aho, Jake Gensel, Teuvo Teravainen, Seth Jarvis, very young player, Frederick Anderson, seeing if he can get his first cup. This entire Hurricanes core is so much fun to watch. And then you have the New York Islanders, Ilya Sorokin, Matthew Barzal. These guys are stars that are so fun to watch. And then on the other side of the Eastern Conference, the number 1 overall seed there, the Florida Panthers versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. Just that series matchup, the Battle of Florida, Panthers versus Lightning, is such a fun matchup. The former Eastern Conference Finals winner versus the Tampa Bay Lightning, who won it so many years in a row, who was the best team of all time for like 3 years. That's such a fun matchup, not even getting into the players of that one. And then in that series, you even had Steven Stamkos, Nikita Kucherov. You had Victor Hedman. I'm blanking on the goaltender's name. That's the one that's eluding me right now. But Andrei Vasilevsky, got it. And then when it comes to the Florida Panthers, they're still rolling in the Eastern Conference. Such a fun team to watch. Sergei Bobrovsky, Matthew Tkachuk, Antoine Lundell, just a fantastic team. Carter Verhaeghe, one that's really fun to watch and that's going very far in these playoffs. And then on the other side of in the final series of the Eastern Conference, you have the Boston Bruins versus, of course, the Toronto Maple Leafs, who is the biggest market in hockey. The Boston Bruins, such a fun team to watch as well. Jeremy Swayman, Linus Ullmark, what a fun goalie tandem to root for. And then you have Brad Marchand, seeing if he could finally win a cup in his career. This is my point here. The depth of talent in the NHL is at an all-time high. At any moment, any two teams going out on the ice, you're going to see a superstar somewhere on that ice, and it's so much fun to watch. That is why we're seeing these viewership numbers. This is why this is the most watched NHL playoffs in recent memory. I am so lucky to be able to cover it. I'm not shocked by this statistic at all. The first 2 rounds of the playoffs were the most watched ever, and I expect that to continue through the 3rd round, through the Stanley Cup Final. If you aren't tuning into this playoffs, you need to. It's so much fun to watch. But that'll wrap it up for my 3rd segment. When I come back with my 4th segment, we'll be talking about the IIHF, the international tournament going on right now, and taking a look at who is doing well there.